Hey everyone. So I wanted to do this video probably last week, but I never got around to doing it, so I'm going to do it now. Um, if you watched the Bruins Lightning series, you knew that the Bruins didn't look right. And I said that at the time as it was happening. I said, this is not the same team that played in the regular season and almost won the Eastern Conference. Like, the guys must be playing injured. There's no way that these guys are 100% and playing this badly because they looked awful against Tampa Bay and getting really destroyed in 5 games. And I know injuries are not an excuse. Every team at this point in the season is dealing with injuries. Most players are dealing with some sort of injury. Everybody's playing hurt at this point. So injuries are not an excuse or a good reason to play bad. But if you're looking for a reason as to why the Bruins didn't look right, their injury list that they released after um, really it tells you why they didn't look right. And I was spot on in saying that guys were playing hurt. And this is really why they looked so poor against Tampa Bay. And while it's not an excuse, I think it is worth noting just not only what some of these injuries were, but who they were to. This was not, your fourth line's a little banged up. A lot of these injuries were to major players and really important players for the Bruins, and it's why they played so. It was certainly one of the reasons why they played so badly against Tampa Bay. So right off the bat, Patrice Bergeron, Bruins' best player without a doubt, he was dealing with concussion symptoms as well as a groin injury. So you have the concussion messing up your head, and he also has a groin problem which really affects your skating, like a lot. Brad Marchand also had a groin issue, so that really affects your skating and your speed. If you watch the Bruins Lightning series, Boston could not come close to skating with Tampa Bay. Well, when two of your best players have groin injuries, that's probably one of the plays a role in that. Riley Nash was still dealing with concussion symptoms from the regular season. He missed a lot of time at the end of the year with a concussion, and he was still struggling with that when he came back to play in the playoffs. Noel Acciari, he had a groin issue as well, and even more impressive, he played since November with a sports hernia. That's just insane. He played most of the season with a sports hernia and played through it and all the way through the playoffs until now he can get that fixed in the off season. But that's ridiculous, especially for Acciari, who is a fourth liner and one of the most physical players on the Bruins. For him to play as physically and as well as he did for the Bruins this season with a sports hernia for most of the year, that's just insane toughness right there. Torrey Krug, as we all saw, broke his ankle in Game 4. The series was already going to crap by that point anyway, so that didn't have a huge effect on the series. But losing Krug in Game 4 was a big loss, and obviously not having him in Game 5. And, we all pretty much knew that it was a broken ankle just from watching the replay. And lastly, Jake DeBrusk. I forgot to put him on the list here. Zdeno Chara apparently he played most of the season with a shoulder issue, and he also broke his finger in the Toronto series and was playing the rest of the playoffs with a broken finger. So, if you've ever played hockey, you know how important fingers are and that they work correctly and gripping the stick and shooting and everything to do with that. So playing with a broken finger is not fun and certainly not easy. And also a shoulder problem for a guy like Chara, which apparently was a lingering issue, has a major effect on the way that he plays. And lastly, the one I forgot, didn't write down, but Jake DeBrusk got hurt at the beginning of the Tampa series. He sprained the AC joint in his shoulder, so he was playing with a shoulder injury. So this is not an excuse. This doesn't, excuse the Bruins for how bad they played against Tampa Bay. Everyone's playing hurt now, like I said. Every team has injuries. We're deep into the season and into the playoffs now. So the Bruins are just like everybody else. But I think it's worth noting these injuries, and if you're looking for a reason to, something that really affected the team and why they played so poorly in the Tampa Bay series, all you have to do is look at this list. A lot of groin injuries, which affects skating, shoulder injuries, which really affects everything. Two guys with concussion issues. David Backes got a concussion in Game 5. So you've got concussion issues, you've got lower body problems, upper body problems, and look at the players that they're to. Patrice Bergeron, Brad Marchand, Torrey Krug, Zdeno Chara, Jake DeBrusk, major players on this team. Riley Nash and Nola Chari, important depth players for this team. Yes, they're both bottom six guys, but they play important roles on the team. And they're all playing with major injuries. So that's a kind of, an insight onto why the Bruins didn't look like the Bruins in the Tampa Bay series. They were just too many injuries to too many important players, and that's, I think, why Tampa was able to dominate them with their speed and skating, and also dominate them physically, because Boston was just out. They were out of gas, they were done, and everybody was hurting. Really important players were hurting. So I just want to point that out. I want to do this video right after they announced these injuries, but I never got around to it, so I figured I'd do it now. Again, not an excuse, but a reason why. One of the many reasons why Boston did not look good in round 2. So like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media, check out offthehockey.com. All those links in the description below. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and talk to you guys soon.